Welcome back to another episode with the Pentax K-3 Mark III. Now, just wanted to do something a little different. Given the low light capabilities of this camera, I'm actually able to try to do something that I would never have thought of doing with the previous versions of the Pentax K-3, which is head out near sundown, which starts at 8:26 and the time right now is at 7:07. To actually try to get some birds in flight with a higher shutter speed using the 55-300 PLM at, I'll probably hover between f8 and f11. So if I go up to f6.3, I'm at 6400 ISO at 1/2500th of a second shutter speed. So it'll be interesting to see what the results actually are like, and can you actually use this camera in regards to capturing action when it is very much less than ideal light. So let's find out. So this is absolutely less than ideal light. Right now I'm at f6.3, 1/2500th of a second in my TAV custom user mode, and I'm shooting full auto with subject tracking on. Right now I'm hovering around, well, anywhere between 1500 ISO all the way up to almost 10,000 ISO. But we'll see what happens when I actually start firing at some birds here. And if there's any wind, I do apologize. My wireless microphone actually died. The receiver's good, but the mic itself is not. And I know it's seagulls, not that great, but given the fact that this is pretty poor lighting, I think it'll actually be a good representation of the capabilities of using the K-3 Mark III in regards to less than ideal situations. We'll actually get to see the image quality in regards to the raw, noise reduction, detail retention, that kind of thing. And as I said, I mean, this is a situation I would not be able to easily do with my standard K3, my K3 Mark I. The lighting just really is poor. So with that said, I guess I could get into some preliminary thoughts in regards to shooting with this K3 Mark III. It's a fantastic camera, and I don't know if you guys are aware, DP Review did actually release a video review on the DP TV or DP Review TV YouTube, and I thought it was actually a really, really good review. And I don't think there's really nothing that stands out as an absolute faux pas on this camera. The camera itself is actually very, very capable. The autofocus is leaps and bounds better than anything we've ever had before from Pentax. These midges, these like little fly things, keep getting all over me. It's annoying. They're everywhere. Oh wow, there's a lot of seagulls now. As you can see, I mean, I'm not even really trying with the autofocus here. Just basically raising the camera, I see something, I'm like, oh, wow, look at that. All right, here we go. And for those that have been following my channel for a while, I am not a burst shooter, per se. I'm really not. Now the lighting's getting nicer. Okay. Oh, did you get a fish? No, you didn't. Not worth taking a shot of that. Okay, so now the lighting's actually getting a little bit better. And this seagull is coming in hot. Okay, it looks like we're going to actually start fishing now. I might have to be able to get some really, really good shots. Yeah, here. Are you going to dive? No, you're not going to dive. Oh, you might dive. You might dive. Looks like you did. Okay. So thoughts. Well, what I am going to do, I am still going to do a video of the K3 Mark III versus the original K3 Mark I that I have. The K3 Mark I and Mark II are the exact same body, just internals are a little bit different, slightly different features or upgrades in features from the K3 to the K3 Mark II, but body-wise they're identical. Yeah, so I will be mentioning the grip because, just like Photo Universe said, I figured out what they did with this grip. I took a very good look at both grips, and this is the best grip I've ever felt on a camera. It is insanely comfortable to hold, and the amount of control you have. I know on my live video I tried to show the difference, you know, just holding with one hand, and it was difficult to do. Well, basically I had two different fields of view for how I actually had the video actually set up, and I was looking at the wrong screen. It was a wider angle of view, but not the view that I would actually, that you guys would have actually been able to see. So with that said, I am going to be doing an actual proper comparison between the two bodies to give you guys an idea as to what the upgrades actually are on this. We'll also be taking both cameras out. Same lens. I'll be using the 55-300 PLM, seeing as it is the fastest focusing lens that Pentax makes. I will mount that to the K3 Mark I, and I will also mount it to the K3 Mark III, and do a back-to-back shooting thing, so you guys can actually see in regards to how quickly the camera reacts when you hit the shutter button on the K3, how fast the continuous autofocus works. You know, I mean, obviously it's not going to be a complete back-to-back, but it'll give you a good enough idea in regards to shooting birds as they're coming towards or along the side, how well and how accurate the focus tracking works between the two different eras of camera. So yeah, I'm just gonna do a few more shots here and show those on the screen, and then at the end I will do my usual outro, and I may throw in some other things in regards to what I actually think of this camera. Well, I'm pretty sure you guys already know what I think of this camera. Leaps and bounds the best DSLR Pentax has ever made. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Is it as good as a D500? I don't know. I don't have a D500 to actually test against. The autofocus on this, though, I would say is fairly comparable, even according to the DP review that they did on the K3 Mark III. They did mention the Nikon did have a slightly faster hit, or slightly higher hit rate, but the K3 Mark III is absolutely no slouch. It is absolutely competitive with the autofocus systems that are out there right now for DSLR. Also, it's a lot more compact than the D500. The D500 is almost the size of the K1. So, if you're looking for a compact DSLR camera that's got all the bells and whistles and unique features that Pentax is renowned for, this is literally your only choice. Except, there is no more, oh, Pentax's autofocus isn't that great, so it's not worth the price of entry. This is absolutely up there. Absolutely up there. So anyway, I'm just going to take some shots and pretty much just do the outro. So what are my thoughts? Well, for one, I noticed that the exposure seems to be completely different. The algorithm or how they calculate the exposure levels seems to be completely different than it is on the previous Pentax cameras. It seems to overexpose easily, so I need to figure out, you know, fine-tune the exposure thing, because the tricks of the trade that I used to use don't seem to apply this time. And in regards to the autofocus, yeah, it is phenomenally fast. However, the subject recognition tracking doesn't work the way I would think it does. A lot of times the autofocus point is either behind or in front or above or below what you're actually focusing on. I don't know if it's a lag in regards to where you see the autofocus point, but
with the images themselves, they are sharp. So it is nailing focus. It's just the correlation of where it's actually focused versus what you see it, where you see it actually being focused, seem to be two completely different things. Other than that, it is leaps and bounds a much better, completely up to date, fully competitive flagship APS-C DSLR, and I have no regrets with getting one. Yeah, it's oh man, yeah, I love this camera compared to the K3 before. It's absolutely phenomenal. Other than that, there really doesn't seem to be anything that stands out to me in regards to anything that's extremely negative in that regard. One thing too is, even if you turn the subject recognition off and you use just single point autofocus or anything like that, where it's just the autofocus itself, it still leaps and bounds better than any of the previous Pentax autofocus systems. So regardless with the subject tracking, or forget about subject tracking, just use the autofocus, it's still a not renowned, but profound improvement over everything that we've been used to before as Pentax shooters. So that's pretty much it. If you like the video, leave a like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, helps me out. If you would like to support that channel, I leave that information down there at the bottom of the description. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and you will see me on my next video. I'm out.